Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? YDBT Daily coming at you every Thursday, 8 Eastern Standard Time. Talking Shit Tuesday at 8 and Peasant Chat 9:30 a.m. on Sundays. Today we're going to talk about a event that's going on right now that's kind of sandwiched in between two events, and unfortunately for the event organizer, I kind of feel bad for Justin Young. You know, he doesn't really know when these events are. Well, maybe he does know. He has to commit very early as to when these events have to happen. And, you know, a lot of the Billy Badass racers, they're probably going to run FL, and then they're going to probably run World Cup. And if anything, they'll use ModNats if they're on the Ford side for testing. They're not going to go all out and do all this crazy stuff. So unfortunately, if you wanted to see the best of the best on the Ford side of things, because the way the schedule is sandwiched in the middle, you know, you might see guys just test like on Thursday, Friday, but not necessarily take it any serious or take it seriously. They'll just like see what the deal is. And depending on what the track is like, and from what I'm hearing some preliminary reports, it's not great. A lot of people are just going to use that as a test session. So the narratives that are going to come out of that specific race are going to be interesting, and we'll talk about it during the show. The people that are going to show up to those events are the people that are heavy Ford slow cars. I'm saying 850 and slower. Like the Billy Badass Fast Guys 7s, they tend to run like other stuff that, you know, like streetcar class at TX, FL, and then other classes at like, what do you call it? What's the name of that event that happens over in North Carolina? Anyway, but you're going to see the slow guys, and that's usually the parts resellers, the converter companies, the tuners, the wannabe tuners, the stealers, all that stuff. So you're going to see a bunch of funny narratives coming out of ModNats to make it look like they did something spectacular. So we'll talk about that because I've attended those events. I've been at those events many times, many years. For the 10 years that I've been in this industry, I've been at those events, and I kind of see the narrative that comes out of it. And we'll see if anything similar happens. We'll also maybe talk about a Chevy regular cab short bed truck being offered by a couple of dealerships with a 6-speed Whippled with a stock throttle body. They claim 1,000 horsepower. You and I both know it's a whole bunch of bullshit. And it's only $130,000. Crazy stuff. We'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live. Oh no, this is not working. Boom. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Yeti Nano. Hopefully we can hear it. If not, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Technical difficulties. PMAS. Nick James. PMAS. The best cold air intakes, MAF sensors. You can call him and get yourself like a build your own cold air kit. Any Mustang that has a MAF sensor should get a PMAS cold air, period. End of sentence. They have one for every application. Check them out. Nick James, PMAS, Nick James, and PMASMAF.com. Doma got cookies, DomaGotCookies.com. Doma got cookies. They got some cookies for you. I'm going to show you the cookies on the screen so you know what to order if you go there. They got some Cream Reaper, Uranus, Pookie, Death by Oreo, putting it in. Jesus Christ. Why don't you just call a cookie fucking you in the ass? Pigeon Tense, Brookie Call, Notorious B.I.G., Money Shot, Yabba Dabba Dough. Holy shit. So check out DomaGotCookies.com if you want to potentially sniff Homegirl's lotion, right? Like lotion, that's what we want to smell, the lotion, right? Check them out. We also got D&H Performance, DNHperformance.com. You're going to buy your new parts there, injectors, turbo kits, supercharger kits, wheels, tires, anything at DNHperformance.com. Parts.com. Used stuff, crank-up pallets, cars, a whole car, wheels, tires, dash parts, fucking door panel, whatever the hell you want. Total Solution, Rami Zedon, Total Solution, get me taken care of with a snout pulley fitment thing that we're going to be messing with the GT500 and Bellag Industries. You know you've made it when they copy your Caleb spelled backwards wheels. Apparently he went to FL2K and all the BMW boys had fake Bellacs on their cars. Leave it to the BMW guys to do some fake Bellac shit. richprince.com/YDBT. You can go get yourself some merchandise there. I put in a bulk order so that Craig Walls has 7 hoodies or 6 hoodies and 2 big massive stickers. I really appreciate richprince.com for taking care of me. You can get all of your hoodies, shirts, hats, shiesties, stickers, long sleeve, short sleeve, a little bit of everything going on there. Check them out, richprince.com/YDBT. I want to get to the to the people, the comments, and then we'll start talking a little shit. Just super laid back, chill show, nothing crazy, no agenda. We're not going to talk about another recall that Ford had. Just tired of that. It's just beating a dead horse. It's like it's another day, another recall. So we're just hoping that we get those news that, you know, Jim Farley is done, and that would be like the best news ever. Nick, Monty Vavordi, Nardi Mercado, Ramsey Carter, B. Lavesh, Lemonade, Z33, Camsella, Frank Donahue, Big Pop, Steve Sikorsky, 101 RTR, and John Bonanno, Joe Swish, D-Rock Fox, TC, Tony the Truck Guy, Mark Christensen, Andy Ali, Slow 99, 50 Stallion, Bono Mustang Dennis, Diego Flores, Candice Lupus, semi-retired street racer, RC Connection, Bono again, Sean, Clip Clop the Horse, SVT, The Fish, D. Guzman, T. Skorsky, Michael, 2JZ, Fox Body, Average Dad X4, Yusuf, JD Bruce, Alfredo Diaz, Nick Perry, Caleb Cox, JD Swag, Peter Chow, Joseph Lacey, Connor Wazurinsky, Shakeway Kyle, Bryson Witt, putting up the links. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Redbird Brian, Alexi, more pubes, more boost. I think that's Devin. Some Junk, S197, Nick Nair, Toilet Dumper, Coyote Fury, X-Con, Honda Forever, Joe Swish, Jose Hernandez, Alfredo Morales, Woods, Craig Walls, Bill and Noonan. You're going to be getting some hoodies. So you're probably going to get them mid next week or late next week sometime. So be on the lookout for those. I sent them to your address. One Slow 4.6, Joe Swish, Bryson Witt, Timmy T, Bonder Bird, Haven, Six Hills, Black Cat, ACF Grad, Rev Racing, and all the usual suspects. So we had helped Eric Vega get to Mod Nationals. Eric Vega is a Texas-based guy who has a ESS, I'll just say it because that's what he's got. He's got an ESS supercharger on his car, Lund-tuned, and it runs well into the 1100 horsepower range. So what the goal is, because his car is pretty well set up for this whole situation, is what we hope is for an 8-second pass. Now, depending on how the track goes, he doesn't care. He's just happy that he made it. He's happy that he teched in, that he made it. He is ecstatic, and I'm happy for him. He brought his whole family down and everything. And apparently at Tech, they said, after Tech, you're going to fill your car with stickers. Every single sticker on the planet showed up on this guy's car. Apparently, they don't give a shit about anything but shoving stickers on your shit. So you can call it Sticker Nationals if you want, but apparently they basically filled up his car after Tech with stickers, and we all hope that he runs his 8-second pass. I think it'd be great. Him and TJ were close. TJ unfortunately passed away in a crazy accident, sum of events that happened around the TX2K time, so it was pretty wild stuff. So if you're going to be going to ModNats, go say hi to Eric Vega. He'll probably have a Lund Racing sticker on the quarter panel because he didn't have any room on the windshields. But I've been to a lot of these events, and let's say in general racing terms, the care level is very low. So the general racing community doesn't go, whoa, we can't wait to go to ModNats. And again, that's not a dig at ModNats. It's just plopped around the time of the most nasty race of the year, World Cup. FL2K to me is okay. You know, the Honda boys love it. The 2JZ guys love it. If you want to get your life threatened, you know, complain about something, and, you know, the event organizers will probably, you know, say you're a bitch, and you might get your life threatened. But aside from that, ModNats is kind of plopped in the middle of all that, and it becomes an issue because you have to, like, right now the Lunds are not there. So the Lunds didn't even attend FL2K because they're like, we just want to go to World Cup. That's the whole goal. Go to World Cup, run that stuff. So if you have a limited schedule and racing isn't like a part of your program, because some people have to race. See, I think racing gets fun when you attend the races you want to attend. But when you have to attend all the races, my God, nothing makes you hate racing more. I worked for 2 companies that they went to every single freaking event and then some, and car shows and local stuff. And if you want to ruin your hobby, make it your job. So I've thought many times, I can do this full time. I could do this full time. I make good money doing it full time. It's all good. But there are some times where I'm just like, oh, I just want to, you know, do the bare minimum, and I just want to do my own thing because I have a regular full-time job in 9 to 5. If I was to make this my full-time job, I'd probably hate it, but I'd probably thrive. It's one of those double-edged swords where I'm like, do I want to get after it and give you content every day and just flood your timeline with shit and projects and tracks and stuff, but that costs money. So these events, you know, if you have to attend them, it becomes a bit of a problem. When you don't have to attend them, you can use them as test beds or whatever. But a lot of the people that are attending these events need to do well in these events. Like they're tuners, they're parts companies, they're people that want to say they have the fastest S650 on the planet, which is the dumbest thing on the planet because it has a 10R80 like a Gen 3. It's got a Gen 3 motor with the cams locked in a different position. It's got 3 more degrees on your Whipple tune than the Roush tune, even though the same guy fucking made it. It's pretty funny. So a lot of people are going to try to come out of here with some kind of narrative, and that's what they use it for, to sell parts, to hawk parts, to sell their company, whatever, or to at least lay claim to the fastest something for a little something. And then in some weird future, they'll be around the campfire like, at one time I had the fastest S650 supercharged car east of the Mississippi, like, the dumbest shit. The other issue also with ModNats is its physical location. A lot of people race on the East Coast, but a lot of people race on the West Coast. And then Texas doesn't even bother, unless like you're Eric Vega and you're psycho and you're going to drive 20 hours straight to go to ModNats. And a lot of people are like, well, is it worth it? Are the payouts worth it? Is the race worth it? Is the prep super badass? Is the weather super badass? So then, that's what you kind of have to weigh out, whether you want to go to ModNats or not. For me, it just wasn't worth anything going there personally. Nothing against Justin and his track. I just don't see any reason to show up there unless like a personal like if Jake would have gone or the Lunds. Even if the Lunds would have gone, I don't think I would have gone. Nothing against the Lunds. I just when racing becomes something you have to do, you don't want to do it. So I want to go on a rental, chill, and whatever. But we'll see what the narratives are. My big thing to watch out for this year is just Eric Vega. That's it. Eric Vega. And then to see what Raul, the track owner, is going to do to his February event. Now, in February, I think that could be great because it'll be the first, quote unquote, big race of the year on the Ford side of things. And as far as I know, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if Justin allowed push rod motors to come in there. But Raul has a very, very, good pulse of what's happening in the grudge racing in Georgia. And he's like, hey, if you got a Ford car and you want to show up and the big payouts and this and this and that. So I think the February race could be something I might attend because one, I want to support Raul. Raul's a Miami guy that was always going to Palm Beach International Raceway and supporting that. I like him. He's a great guy, honorable guy. And if he's putting an event up, I want to support it just by showing up and maybe covering it and maybe running some test and tune bullshit or True Street or some 850 index class. I have a couple of cars that might fit different classes. So if I decide to show up, it'll be on a race like that specifically. So we'll see what the narratives end up being there. So I'll just play this and you guys tell me what you think. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but you tell me what you think about this situation.
Walk into your local Chevy dealer and order yourself a 1,000 horsepower, 6-speed manual transmission, regular cab, short bed, Chevy Silverado with its own warranty. I never thought that we would see this day, but it's here, it's real. So let's talk about what's under the hood, what comes with the truck, and of course, the price. The truck itself is a regular cab short bed Silverado, as I mentioned, which frankly, I didn't even know they still existed, but I'm super glad that they do because this is the best layout for a muscle truck to me. The Yenko SC Silverado under the hood makes use of a 6.2 liter aluminum block V8 with forged internals combined with a high output supercharger, and then that's combined with a TR6060 transmission. If it sounds familiar, it's similar to what you might find in some of the Camaros and Corvettes. Definitely a solid unit, and best of all, it's a 6-speed manual, boys and girls. From there, we get a stainless catback exhaust that is also a side exit, Yenko badge 6-piston Brembo front calipers and 16.1-inch rotors. We also get a 2-inch
16.1. He had to make sure he told you the 0.1
/ 5-inch lowering kit with Fox Performance shocks, kind of like what I had on my single cab. Just love the look of a drop like this, especially on this truck. To top it off, there's some visuals to spice things up just a little bit, like the classic Yenko graphics. We also get Yenko badging and 22-inch wheels.
That doesn't matter anymore, man. It's 2025. Who gives a fuck about Yenko?
Pricing for the model starts at $89,000 on top of the price of a truck, which is about $37,000. You have to provide a 2-wheel drive truck, so you could get this thing out the door for $130,000.
I'm done. $130,000 for a rear-wheel drive, 6-speed, Whipple supercharged, 6.2. Get the fuck out of here. And they said they're going to make 50 of them. So for the cool price of $130,000. You can get a badge that was relevant in 1968, right? When you could still raw dog bitches and you generally wouldn't have an issue. Actually, it's about there now. Now we're at the point where we're like, oh, you got a bit of the HIV? Yeah, I got a pill. We're good. I'm like, wow, crazy. So $130,000 gets you a, tell me in what planet a 6'2" Whipple supercharged pump gas truck with a stock throttle body makes 1,000 horsepower. I can't wait for someone to go, some boomer, like boomer. And he's like, whoa, they're finally making the vehicles all them Mexicans are fucking with. I can't wait to get my 6-speed Yenko truck that makes 1,000 horse out there and really play with the big boys. Oh boy, you got it way twisted if you think that's what you're going to do with that truck. And then you're going to be like, well, this is a Yenko 1000. And then you go to the Pep Boys dyno like I did. Oh, I never saw more disappointed faces than when I dynoed cars that these guys had in their garage forever. Never, ever put it on a dyno. And they were saddened to know that they're cammed, 650 dub pumper, small block Chevy with a turbo 350 made, 195 rear wheel horsepower. They were about to cry. I would always ask the question, what do you think this thing will make? At least 500 wheel. This thing will pop, it'll clear a Coke can in second gear. Really? Gotcha. 190 rear wheel horsepower. Then a Hellcat would show up. Young guy, well-dressed. He's like, what do you think it'll make? I'm like, 630. On the money. 630. And they were like, holy shit. So this truck is going to be owned by some boomer somewhere because it says Yenko. Ooh, Yenko, a number that mattered in 1962. Who gives a shit or whatever? And put it on the dyno. It made it's 1,000 and it makes 530 rear wheel horsepower. 535 rear wheel horsepower. Because in actuality, it probably makes about 625 to 650 at the flywheel. 1,000 horsepower, and I saw a stock throttle body. I went, boy, get the fuck out of my face with that situation. Remember when Nelson Racing was like, well, we got 1,000 horsepower Whipple package motors for you. And I'm like, on what planet does any Whipple supercharged anything make 1,000 flywheel horsepower on pump gas? Not just one, none, zero. So yeah, we could talk about that stuff. It'll be lax. Get your questions, comments, concerns, freewheel it, freestyle it, see what happens. So it's a Wish Hennessy 650 wheel tops. Try to get gapped by an F-150 for $44,000 and a $10,000 Whipple kit. Exactly. It is a complete out the door $130,000 truck with a TR6060. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you want a manual truck? Like, I don't want a manual performance truck. Why in the hell would I want a manual performance truck? That is stupid. Like, really stupid. It's a truck, but manual. Okay, but why? Like, now you've taken the truck out of it. Like, let's say the nice thing about having a Mexican GTR is that you can actually do something with it. You can tow, you can do some normal stuff. If you have a crew cab version of it, right? 10 speed, do the thing. This thing, it's a manual. You're going to tow your boat with a manual? You know what that looks like? A fucking sloppy mess. Nobody wants a manual truck. So this is something that they made that nobody wants. And there's so many of those vehicles out there that people make that nobody wants. But they make it anyway. A GTD. People will buy it because it's short run and they see it as an investment. But at the end of the day, it's a $300,000 GT500. Psychotic. And Chevy made a better vehicle for cheaper money. Maybe not after the markup, but let's be honest. If you got $300,000 burning a hole in your pocket and you want performance, the GTD ain't it. The guys that buy that are the same people that buy the GTD. Thank you very much. The GTD definitely has its audience. Gay guys that, it's like the same guy that buys a snake, a literal snake, and puts it over his shoulder and goes to downtown. You know, go to your downtown area. Go to your local gentrified downtown area where there's a cheesecake factory, it's sugar or some kind of candy store, and then an Italian restaurant, and maybe a LED lit up tree, that the Christmas tree that is up all year round. You know, that town center, the modern town center. And there's always going to be a guy with a snake on his shoulder. And you go, there's a guy with a snake on his shoulder over there. GTD owners are exactly the same way, right? Regular traffic. A very whoa, there's a guy with a G. What the fuck? Why do you have a snake on your shoulder? What are you, weirdo? Why do you have a GTD? And I know the GTD guy, you're just saying that because you're broke. Gotcha. Race my vehicles. Well, what if you go to Germany in the Nürburgring? I'll get a Miata and probably beat you. Where did they dyno it? PBD? You know, one of the funnier things that okay, my purpose is to clear the smoke and so you understand what people are selling you. They're lying to you. So people like me are going to be looked at as a negative for the industry because I'm shining a light on the bullshit. I told you guys from the beginning this was shenanigans with the Whipple stuff. I told you guys from the beginning what cars should dyno. So what I'm trying to do is just, I guess, educate and at least let you, inform you. So now you guys are informed. Now you guys are absolutely on game. So it is just a little harder to pull the wool over your eyes and fool you. Right now on the Patreon chat, I cannot really teach the OGs a lot. The OGs are in there when new people come in and ask questions and literally line for line say what I would say. I'm like, boy, these guys are super informed. So at any time, if you have a real technical question and you want to just literally wade through the bullshit, Patreon is the place. There's a tech chat, there's my chat, there's gun chat, there's conspiracy theories chat for $15 a month. You're not going to get any bullshit. We have moderators that keep things tight. I've always said, if you have a tight run group and trustworthy people that moderate it, you can self-police shenanigans in your fan base. And I'd like to think that the Patreon does that, and it helps everyone at any time. It's awesome. Trying to use a manual at the boat dock would be funny to watch. Nobody wants it. It's just another collector car for money launderers and the concrete business owners to buy. I agree. There's also, I think cars, people said, no, there's better ways of laundering money than a car. Well, think about it. Don't you wonder why a lot of these cars on Mecum auctions and Barrett Jackson auctions, which is coming up in January, that's the only one I watch. The Scottsdale one is the only one I watch. Every other auction to me is shit. I sit down and watch the Barrett Jackson car auction in Scottsdale, Arizona, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the $1 million+ cars show up. So when they say give it to charity, that, so you can basically set an egregiously high number that you need to offset your taxes with, and you basically falsely raise the price of a vehicle so that you can offset. Why do you think like the charity vehicles go for millions of dollars? Like I saw one year a Hummer went for bazillion dollars because it was going to a cause. So I'm sure this guy was like, bro, I need to come here. I'm loaded. I need to offload $16 million this weekend so that the tax man doesn't get it. It's like art, right? Art is not necessarily income. You could say, I'm valuing this art at $10 million. How do you think Hunter Biden made the money he made? He was like, I'm going to fart on I'm going to go on a Coke binge and fart on some canvases and sell it for $10 million. And that $10 million bought influence through his dad. These guys are laundering money through cars. So yes, you're right. This is just another launder money vehicle. And it'll be like the one of one serial number 1 Yenko truck. And some guy that's like, he's got oxygen on. He's like, Yenko made a comeback? No. Where is Ford at? Recall every other day. Surprised they didn't call the 454 SS. FL2K will buy it. Yeah, dude. I get so many fucking stories about the clown show that's going on over there. Like, oh, the GTD this, the ZR. Oh my God. Like, shut the fuck up. Christopher says, my dad's 67 Camaro with 11-1 compression, 350 solid lift, trick flow heads, only made 330 wheel. He thought it was going to make 350 to 375. And you guys saw what my Fox body made with a hopped up 351. Made 455 or 460. It's crazy. You still have the snake, or did you get rid of it? It's just like disintegrated. The snake just like fell apart. It was made really cheaply. Old truck, yes, I want a manual. New truck, no. 59 F100 came with a 3 on the tree, but now it's getting a 5-speed. I only want one old truck, and it is not a Chevy. I'm sorry, it is not a Ford. The only truck I would ever consider getting ever that is like a oldie but a goodie is a fucking Apache, and I don't know why I love the front end of the Apache. This thing is just tits. I mean, when I see an Apache, I worked at Bomberas. Yeah, it would look like that. Oh, fuck. Come on, stop it. I don't know if that's a rendering or real or fake or whatever, but like that. A street style, low. I could do 6-speed on that shit. Good AC, good sound system. Choppity chop. Probably a twin turbo Coyote. Fuck it. You know, I do a 6R80 in that bitch. Bro, an Apache like this, give me that. I won't talk about anything Ford. When I think about old trucks like this, nothing holds a candle to this weird. Didn't old taxis look like this? Let me see. 50s, New York taxi. Yeah, I'm good. I got weird memory. Yeah, it's kind of like a similar layout, like the Taurus used to look, like the Mustang, like everything. But this Apache, oh, bro, give me that. A street, low, slow, chilling, just like that. Baby blue, gay, fuck it, give me that. I get that being a manual, but a like race inspired truck, no, it's stupid. Did the 6.2 engine recall get done, or did they get done first, or did they build the bomb? I don't know. I don't know anything about the Chevy side, but I know that the recall was so devastating that, you know, they said it was going to cost them into the billions of dollars, to the point where they're saying, no, just get some higher viscosity oil to take. And then we talked about this. I don't think these manufacturers torture test these vehicles like you think they do. See, we're all under the assumption that when we get a vehicle, that all of the torture testing has been done. At least that's what you're led to believe. And the more we see, the less I think they actually test these at all. Like more so than normal. And I don't trust any modern vehicle. I don't trust any newer vehicle made after 2024. Hell, 2020. 2020 is my threshold. 2020 and newer, I don't think I'm going to buy anything brand new from any manufacturer, Ford or Chevy. Now, the only thing I would buy that's newer, it would be a Escalade V. That bitch is bad. Scottsdale Auction is gangster shit. Tech chat was my suggestion. We could do a tech chat. Oh yeah, Alzalele, we do have a tech chat. So on the Patreon, we have a bunch of chats in there, and the tech chat is great because people go in there asking technical specific questions. And, you know, it's one of those things where you just see people ask questions about hoses, and there's so many people of different disciplines in there that they really know what the hell they're talking about. So if you're going to go in there, you're going to see people like, why is this that? Why is this? EPA does a great job of recruiting people to come over. They're talking about headers rubbing. How do you fix that? Look at all these people. Look, there's a lot of people here that ask a question and you get answers pretty quickly. So look, it's worth it just on the tech chat alone. And then you could direct message me if you have like specific questions that you think I can answer. 2020 is when things went to hell. COVID supply chain issues, right? Remember, all these trucks sat in a field somewhere at Ford. All these trucks sat in a field for microchips. And then when they got them, do you think the process was the same? You know how much of a pain in the ass it is to have an assembly line and then to have incomplete processes in that assembly line, move these trucks over to a field, then have a process to bring them back in and put the chip in properly. Shenanigans. Because what if the chip, body control module, whatever, went somewhere that the dash now has to come off again? You know, like, I wonder what, I'd love to know what chips were bypassed just to get the truck built, and then where they had to get installed after the fact. And if you guys were probably privy to that information, you probably would not buy a new Ford after 2020. Old school cars are the cream of the crop. 2017 is mine. SRT 10 Ram was Viper engine and transmission. Was it? Or was it like a tamed down version of the Viper motor? I still think the SRT10 missed the boat because it wasn't four-wheel drive. The Lightning, I get it, was competing against the Lightning, but I honestly think the Ford gangster shit, the Mexican GTR, was never the intention of Ford. Ford never intended on making a race-oriented, all-wheel drive truck or four-wheel drive truck. No freaking way. They were strong-armed into providing that package after the popularity of that truck skyrocketed. They were a work truck. Remember, guys, a lot of the trims you can get an RCSB in, regular cab, short bed truck, after, let's say, 2015, because 2015 was when it really changed. You got 6R80, you got a Gen 2 motor that's pretty strong, you got a tri-core computer, you got all-wheel drive, you have an aluminum body, so it's lighter. Then in 2018, you have a 10-speed, so it was quicker in up to a certain point, but we've all seen how bad the 10R80 has been. So the 10R80 is a non-starter for me, built or not. I don't care how many people say it's badass. I will never buy a 10R80, anything ever in history. 8 speeds is the most I think a transmission should have. So Ford was looking at the popularity and they're like, wait a minute, why all of a sudden are RCSB sales up? That's a work truck. That's a U-Haul truck. That's like a nothing truck. Well, these guys are putting Shelby body kits on them. They're putting nice front ends. They're putting good lights. They're putting the Apple dash and really nice stuff. And then Ford's like, oh, so they're basically putting like a platinum package or whatever limited package in an RCSB. Let's just offer that from the factory, leather, charge an extra amount of money, and then we'll put a Whipple supercharger on it because we have like a contract with them. And all of a sudden, they started showing up as FP 700 packages. That is not something that was ever in the plan at Ford Racing. That was 100% pushed to them by the aftermarket. Speaking of torture test, you would think, since Jimmy's obsessed with Porsche, that he would have the company torture test the Fords like Porsche does. So, look, I dislike Jim Farley's business acumen. I don't dislike him as a person. I don't know him as a person to dislike him. But every decision and everything he says seems to be, I don't know, hypocritical. So you're talking about buy American, buy American, buy American, made in America, made in America, made in America. Boom. Trump comes in and says, if you don't build your cars in the U.S., fuck you, here's a tariff. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. We have partners. We're a global company, but you just said America, 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 and all of a sudden Trump's like, yeah, I'm down with America. Shit, tariffs. And you're like, oh, wait, we want to keep the Mexico plants going. We want to keep the Indonesia shit going. We want to keep the lights being made in India somewhere. And he's like, nah, fuck you, come home. Then in other interviews, he's saying China has facial recognition in the cars. Like, that's a positive. How is that a positive? I don't want my car facially recognizing. There's a reason. Like, look, Teslas are wonderful vehicles. American company. If you don't mind it knowing every single little thing you have ever done in history, and you want to have technology, because the thing is just a technological wonder, I totally understand, especially the Plaid. You can get a Plaid for $50,000 to $60,000, run 950s on 50% battery. Got a friend right now that was like, Alex, I went out there on 50% battery. Bitch went 9.6. Like, I took a right after my house and just matted it, and it went 9.6 at 148 with 50% battery. What car can you do that with? Show me a car that you can just turn it on in the morning or just get in it and 2 minutes later take a right turn and go a mid 9-second pass. You can't. So if you don't mind the technology these cars have for safety features, for self-drive, for insurance purposes, for everything, that's the car for you. Personally, I don't want the car knowing that much. Alex Puente, thank you very much for the $10. We're up on viewership, which is odd. So I wonder if YouTube algorithm changed. Alex, why don't we see more built RCSB Gen 2s? They didn't make as many. So good luck finding a 2015 to 2017 regular cab short bed Gen 2. Remember, guys, Gen 2 was made for 2 years, 15 to 17. That's why I think it's that special. You can extend that to 2020 if you include the GT350. It had the TC290, the tri-core computer. And it was basically the same computer all the way to 2020, but Gen 2 is special and they only made it for 2 years. And in some distant future, you're going to start hearing about the good old 15 to 17, how awesome it was. And then they introduced the dumb fucking 10 speed. They introduced DI with leaky O-rings and all this shit. And the product, yes, while it made more power naturally aspirated, the better one to build was the Gen 2. So the truck suffered the same fate. It was only around for 2 years, 15 to 17. And then in 18, they shoved the 10-speed in it. Yes, 12-to-1 compression. Arguably, it's better to build the Gen 2. They just didn't make that many. And then since 2018, we've basically had the same truck, a 10-speed DI 12-to-1 compression truck for 7 years, as opposed to 2 years of the Gen 2. I still think to this day, we are undervaluing the benefits of the Gen 2. And Alex Puente wanted me to play. Yeah, he paid. He paid $20. You got to get it done. I can send screenshots on Patreons. What are you talking about? Alex said it's good to go, but no watt logs at all. Are you talking shit here? What's going on here? What's going on here? I want to make sure. Did he send logs or whatever asked for as if he was tuned through HP tuners? Device give hell tune logs. What's happening here? Because if you're coming in here, a little off subject, Alex, just curious as to why a really good friend of mine is being tuned by you and has not had a response in over 48 hours. Car still has a soft limit of 4,800. What's his name? I'll check right now. In my list, nobody has replied with a limiter of 6,200. There are people that have an F-150 that is hitting a weird limiter, and I've showed them it's not the tune. There's an F-150 right now that has a midnight kit and midnight transmission, and it's hitting a limiter at 6,500. And I said, it's not the tune. I have done everything I need to do. I do this 500 times a day. But you say he hasn't had a response in over 48 hours. Now, what you're doing here is weird and goofy because you're bringing it up here as if to say, Alex, you're doing a bad job. What's going on? And that's goofy behavior. If you know how many people reply to themselves in the ticket system? They reply to themselves. Hey, I haven't. Then they open a new ticket, and then you figure out that they've been replying to themselves. You have to reply to me as opposed to yourself. Because today, I didn't see anybody that said, hey, I'm still stuck on a 6,200 RPM limiter, and you haven't replied in 2 days. Nope, sorry. Give me the ticket number. Give me the ticket number. I'll look it up right now. And he's a Holly Haram member. Bringing up bullshit. Weirdo. I picked up a 2012 F-150 crew cab last week trying to decide which route to go. I daily it. Honestly, just daily it. A lot of people fall into the, should I Whipple it? Should I Pro Charge it? Should I Twin Turbo it? If it is your daily, honestly, just drive it daily. Okay, here's the ticket number. Let's go. Fuck it. Because when people try to get one over on me, I'm not happy about that shit. Do I have Wi-Fi? Do I have to turn on Wi-Fi here? Let me see. Wi-Fi available. Alex, connect. Yeah, like Doug calling. Yeah, what he's doing is trying to say that I'm not doing my job. That's basically what he's doing. 248081. Okay. He has not replied to the ticket. 248081. 248081. Hold on. 248081. Okay. Tuesday at 8:21 p.m. She's perfect, sir. You should be good to go. Jesse says, awesome. Thank you, Alex. I'll run it to work next couple of days, and if it's all good, we'll be good for a watt log. He already did watt log. This thing really starts to pull just before the limiter. And I'm dying to get this 93 millimeter off. I have a 3-inch. I would love to try and attempt to make our last and test and tune for the 26. I said, she's perfect. You should be good to go. What limiter are you talking about? And you replied, Tuesday. I said, you're good to go. What's the problem? Are you loading the right tune? Is he on the right tune? I said, you're good to go. It looks good. If you're hitting a weird limiter, why don't you data log it? Hey, Alex, can you take a look and make sure? No, I haven't seen a data log. He replied Tuesday. I like how people were like, you didn't reply. I literally replied and said, you should be good to go. In here, it doesn't say it's hitting a limiter at 6,200. He said limiter, that's at 8,100. So I don't know if it's hitting an 8,100 limiter or a limiter at 6,200, but I said he's good to go. And he goes, thanks, I'll drive it for the next couple of days. Dumb son of a bitch emailed someone else. I don't know what he did, but to come in here and to try to make it look like I haven't replied in 2 days when Tuesday I said he should be good to go. Now I got to look at his tune because he pissed me off. He's got a device serial. So he's got a 2013 Coyote swap. Oh no. These Coyote swap guys, bro, a lot of the guys think they have a limiter, but in actuality what they have going on. So last tune was sent 10/6/2025. Nope, no limiter. No limiter. The rev limiter is set way above anything. If he's hitting a limiter, have him send a log and say, I think I'm hitting a limiter here. And then I'm going to make sure he's got the proper tune uploaded because a lot of people do this. Let's say I send a base E85 file. That one's limited. And then I send subsequent, revisions. And then they're like, hey, I went watt. Looks good. How's it feeling? Looks good. And then sometimes they start fumfering around with the LRX. Like, this is what a lot of people do. It felt better on this tune. It felt better on this tune, so I'm going to go on this tune. And I'm like, it's the same tune. It's just a limiter raised up, a limiter raised up. So a lot of people revert back to like the first tune because they think it's saucier for whatever reason. And they're like, hey, it's hitting a limiter. I'm like, which tune is loaded? Like, which tune is physically loaded? I've caught so many people loading the base file back onto the device. But again, he hasn't replied saying it's hitting a limiter. Reply with a log saying it's hitting a limiter. Can you see? It's weird. It's weird that people get in here and try to make me look bad, but whatever. And he's a Holly Haram member. Weird. Haven't watched live in a while, and as soon as I come in, someone talking shit. I hope it gets good. He's not talking shit, but he's going about it the wrong way, right? Because what you're doing is you're going on a live stream and basically saying, how come you haven't replied to my friend in 2 days? And your friend received the reply Tuesday, and I said, everything looks good to go. Enjoy it. Nowhere did it say, I'm hitting a soft limiter at 6,200. Please check this. Nowhere. It's just bad communication on their part. Hit us up. If there's an issue, log the issue. I had a guy the other day tell me that this one was interesting. Alex, my car is stalling. And I go, is it stalling consistently or is it stalling intermittently? Because if it is consistent, let's say on decel and it stalls, it could be a tune issue. If it's inconsistent, it's another issue. So then I start asking the questions. And again, this is my favorite question to ask when a car starts to stall. Does your car have an aftermarket grill? So people don't make that correlation. People go, what the fuck does the grill matter? I'm like, it matters because Ford designed the cold air ducting to be very specific. It's laminar airflow. So if you put a aftermarket grill that gets rid of the little honeycomb that is specifically designed to let air in, and you think more air is more betterer, and all of a sudden your car starts to stall, that's your answer. But what am I going to tell them? Put your stock grill back on? They probably got rid of it. They probably modified their grill. They probably hacksawed it, put some kind of insert with some weird light. And I'm like, well, now you have changed the airflow characteristics of the intake ducting, and it's now stalling because it's turbulent on diesel. Throttle closed, ram air effect, filter gets wigged out, and it shuts off. That's my favorite question. So when someone says, I have an issue, log the issue, send us a log of said issue. I will then say, hey, let me re-export the same file. Let's see if something got hosed, or let's make sure that you are on the right tune. And that usually fixes the issue because they get hosed up on which tune they loaded. 9 times out of 10. Midget Toss. To be honest, I think it would be interesting to live stream while working on a ticket to hear internal, external stream monologue. No. Yes. Why is he telling you he's not telling the ticket system? Right. Why is my friend not getting replies? He hasn't emailed us since Tuesday. He hasn't emailed us with concerns since Tuesday. What can I do? Just preemptively hit him up and go, hey, how you doing, buddy? Just doing a follow-up on one of my 1,000 tickets that I've done the last couple of months. Everything good, buddy? That's not how I do it. No one does that. Dude pretending it's his friend but got a ticket number real quick. Yeah, it's probably him. But Alex, you're Alex Damas. You're supposed to know what he meant but didn't type it in the email. I'm slightly embarrassed for overkills. You need to apologize. He does not need to apologize. let's just use this as a learning lesson, right? If you're a member and you know how I operate and you know I don't fuck people, to come in here and do stupid shit like that, it's weird. But let's just do this. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he's frustrated. Let's say he doesn't know how to use email. Email us, hey, I got some concerns. It's not hitting the limiter. I'm on the E85 R3 tune. Are you sure? Yep. Okay, let me take that same tune and re-export it and send it to you again, but with a different name, so that when you load it, you know it has a different name, and watch it magically not hit a limiter. Every single time. Every single time. Not once, not twice, every single time. And I don't go out of my way to embarrass them. I go, hey man, it happens, no big deal. I have a 16 F-150 about to turn 190,000 miles. Runs like new. Whisper quiet engine bay. However, thinking of doing timing chains soon as a preventative measure. Your thoughts, Alex? If you're going to do timing chains, you're going to do, unfortunately, everything. Not just the chain. The chain rides on a sprocket. So you might want to get that done, right? If you're going to do chains, do the phaser and the sprocket. Do all of the timing system. Do solenoids, phasers, sprockets, guides, and tensioners. You'd almost have to do the whole thing at that point, not just a chain. Space says, I remember being an aftermarket grill idiot. Found your videos on the stock grill, put it back on, and the car doesn't do dumb shit anymore. So I've made, I would say, 6 or so cold air, how the air enters. And you know what's missing? I hate to say it, but it's animation. It's animation. There was an Indian guy that reached out to me. He's like, hey man, let's work together and do some cool editing. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to lose control of my editing because it's a small channel. I run it 100%. I do the editing, the writing, the producing, the filming, everything. I do it. So I get to keep all the money. The moment I give that up to somebody, control goes away. And maybe the end product is not what I want it to be. So I've done these videos and I'm like, you know, they need to see it. They need to see how the air is turbulent entering a MAF sensor. It cannot be turbulent. So a lot of people don't understand that when the throttle is shut and the air is still flowing up against the filter in a positive fashion, the throttle is shut, the air is being rammed into the cold air, and it pressurizes the box, or the filter sees a wigged out signal because it's not being sucked into the motor. The moment the throttle is open, it gets sucked into the motor, the airflow straightens out. The other thing that happens is people go on a dyno and they have an open air filter. And with the car idling, they have the most powerful fan imaginable. And I'm looking at the data log and I'm like, it's 50% lean. Why is it 50% lean? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, I know, it's because you have a fucking fan slamming air into the MAF sensor. And the engine doesn't need it. So it's wigging out the MAF signal. Put the fan out of the way, and only when you're about, or shut the hood. Shut the hood. Do you race with your hood open? Are you at ModNats right now? Who's racing with their hood open? I'm not saying missing. I'm saying open, hinged. Nobody, right? So why would you dyno your car that way? Answer me that question, genius. Why would you dyno your car with the hood open on a supercharger and a vehicle? Turbo's different. Turbos are going to suck from the turbo inlet. Centrifugal's different. Centrifugal's going to suck. But a blower with a filter or an NA car with a filter, why would you have the hood open? Weird. Yeah, attaches the same tune. Whoa, much better. It doesn't hit. And this is what I do. I change the name. Now, there is an exporting process that could hose something up, but it doesn't hit a limiter. You could say, let me export it again. I'm going to name it re-export. And that's what I name it. R7 re-X. And then in the name, re-X. And then boom, that's the same tune. Because it'll do some weird wonky shit. If I change parameters, it'll do weird wonky shit to let you know that it's a different tune uploading. This is exactly why you should tune reply as a Borg, no individual names. No, this is the problem, Destroyer. What started happening by giving people anonymity, it gave the people a comfort level of dismissal. Shut up. You don't know who I am. Fuck you, right? But now when your name is attached to it, it says Alex. So Alex told me I'm gay. Alex told me it doesn't matter. So there's accountability. And I think it's good to have your name attached to your work so that they know who's doing it. The Borg thing also makes sense, but only if everyone's on the same page and isn't going to take liberties using the anonymity as an excuse or as a crutch. Raul Goodall says, quick question. I got a 19 bullet and my IMRC has gone out. Do you recommend just replacing the manifold or locking them out? And do bullets use the 350 manifold over the 18 plus? I forget. I believe the the bullet has the GT 350 manifold, the 87 millimeter throttle body, and the 110 millimeter cold air intake. Basically, you have a GT 350 intake system, cold air, throttle body, and manifold. If your IMRCs have gone out and you are receiving IMRC codes, you delete the IMRC, you lock it open, you tell us, hey, Alex, I locked open my IMRCs. If you are within your 6-month revision window, it is free. True SVT, what did SVT say? Overkills, didn't eat breakfast. Look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a Holly Haram member, so he's been here a while. 56 years old, and I just bought my first Mustang GT, and it's a 2019, and I'm loving it. Had 40,000 miles. Thank you, Alex, for your knowledge. 19 is the last good year, in my opinion. Junior will disagree. He'll probably say 24 is better. I don't care. I think 19 is the last good year. Do you like Ford versus Ferrari? Tape paper strips on the grill airbox to see the turbulence. Be sure to chew a lot of gum while doing it. That's very funny. Testing motor mounts. EPA says, Rowan, I just wrote an article on the IMRC's pros and cons in the pitch. So EPA writes some of the best articles. Very AI-y, like, you know, the way he types is very much AI-like, but very accurate information. Do you think you can make those animations through AI? Laminar airflow, yes, but you'd have to pay like the top tier AI. You know how expensive it is to have AI make animations for you? It's probably like $150 a month. It's like the top tier AI. And then I'm like, is it worth it? And I don't want to rely on AI. You know what I mean? Like there is a pride. A lot of people get lazy. You started to see all these people just copy paste AI things into their Facebook post with the little bells and whistles and all these stupid emojis that shouldn't belong. And it's like, who is typing this? And their advertising campaign is 100% done by AI. What I do with the AI is I caption the episodes, put a brief description and the hashtags. Everything else and the shorts. But the advertising or the filming, the actual product that the AI is snipping is 100% made by me. So imagine if I used AI to make a video, then used AI to tell you what the video is about, to pare down the AI made video with AI. I just think you lose your message in that process. Math on the intercooler and tank is a prime spot. Azaleli says, dumb question. Is it possible to overwrite an old tune with the RTD and LRX? So, the cars don't give a fuck what you got in it. Now, if you're using HP tuners like an MPVI to draw the current file and then to adjust that file, that's when you can get into problems. But if you have an SETX4, an N-Gauge, an LRX, you can just flash over shit. Now, there are some ghosts behind the machine that make sometimes, like Junior one time was having an issue with the Grey Goose. And it would, again, this is 2,500 horse problems. Again, stock computer at the time. The car would launch, it would hit a weird soft spot, then take off again. And Junior's like, what the fuck? I don't get it. So made a change, go out there, car launches, like a soft limiter, then it comes back. And he's like, I don't know. Let me completely write the tune as if not a flash over existing, flash full. Goes in there, flashes full, takes care of the issue. So that's the magic about the stock computer game that a lot of people don't understand. The stock computer game has limits, weird things that you don't even understand why it's happening. And then you have to go into the matrix to find it. So when a lot of people give up on the stock computer game on a car that runs 9 seconds, they just don't have access to stuff. Whereas the Lunds found that, okay, it's getting to the point where at nearing 3,000 horse, it's going to be an issue for control. And then you want to add all the nannies, all the traction control, the wheelie control, all that stuff. Even though Junior still uses an AMS 2000 for boost control. Everything else is controlled by Motec. So, there's something to be said about stock computers needing a full write as opposed to a flash over existing. All that to say that at low power, you're not really going to have an issue. But if you want to make sure that you're not missing something that it's supposed to write, you can do a full write, meaning return to stock full write. But I don't suggest that. I don't think I've had that. Rowan Goodall says, man, everyone mispronounces my name. What are you talking about? Thanks, EPA. Appreciate that. Rowan Goodall? What is it? Rowan? I don't know. Super Grok is $300 a month. That's what I mean. That's crazy to me. Azaleli says, without going back to the stock tune, you don't have to go back to the stock tune. You can just flash over the existing. EPA should do a tech article about making cookies. Nice. Grok Super Heavy is $300 a month. I use AI to create my diagnostic reports for customers' cars. Everything I find in the car needs it put into a really professional PDF. No. I get that. PDF files and everything. But when they write stuff for you, it's really bad. As a matter of fact, I had the AI make a rap song. So we made a joke today on Facebook about Corey blowing up a nitrous F-150. Now, did he blow up a nitrous F-150? No. But it's just funny to run with it. And that's the best thing about working for Lund Racing is everyone is friends there. So everyone made a joke that, oh, Corey blew up an F-150, blah, 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 with nitrous, da, 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 da. So I told the AI, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you write a song in the Bossman Dilo style of our tuner Corey blowing up a nitrous F-150 and getting, complaining that John Jr. of Lund Racing was talking shit about it. And it wrote out the lyrics. I used the voice changer and I put a beat to it and it came out pretty good.
Yo, I'm the tuner boss. Straight out the shop, nitrous in the F-150. Watch that thing pop. Push the limits, red line screaming loud. Engine went boom, but I ain't even proud. John Jr. yelling, Lund Racing on the line. Man, what you do? That truck was fine, but I shrug it off, light up a blunt, tuned it for the smoke, now it's junk in the trunk. I don't give a fuck. Blew that F-150 sky high, nitrous hitting hard, watch the pistons fly. John Jr. mad, screaming in my ear, but I'm chilling with the crew, sipping on a beer. Boss man style, blow on the beat, tuning for the thrill, can't handle the heat. Engine graveyard, parts all scattered around, next one's coming, hear that turbo sound. Here, pulled up to the dyno, straps tight on the wheels, boost cranked up, feel the power for real. Nitrous bottle empty, rods bend and break, smoke everywhere, but that's the risk we take.
It's stupid, but it made me laugh, and it was fun, and that's it, and we're done. Junior getting all proud. I'm just lighting the blunt. I don't give a fuck. Of course, I'm just lighting the blunt. I don't give a fuck. Good stuff. No need to mess with the tuning device. Just hit up Eric Brooks for you. Bro, when I read that sometimes, people, bro, you'd be surprised the people that hear that shit. At what point should I go to a mid plate? Should I be concerned about having a solid motor mount? 1,000 wheel stick at GT500? No, you're good. You're good. I don't think you need a mid plate for a while. So an old tuner can lock the PCM not to be overwritten with a new tune by someone else? No, I don't think so. They can lock it to be drawn, but they can't lock it for you to flash over it. Yeah, it was good. A droll delivery, exactly. 2019 Mustang GT tuned, half-ass on my part. Tyler Man says, how come you guys don't use Live Link and CF4 files? We do. What are you talking about? We do. Every day. Okay. CF4 is a configuration file to go into the SCT. The problem is it then makes you piggyback off of the device to tune with a laptop or the device. So we give you a DLX file so that you'd log just with the device. It's actually a lot easier. You can download it yourself. Like you could log with the device, then download the log yourself and look at it yourself on LiveLink. Done. Bada bing, bada boom. That was funny. Yeah, no, it's good. And then I tried another one. I think I have the lyrics here. Let me see. Where are the lyrics? I'll just play the lyrics because it does Corey's voice really good. Let me see. Corey blew up F-150. Here it is. Okay, let me see. Is this a John? Corey? Let me see.
Pulled up to the dyno, straps tight on the wheels, boost cranked up, feel the power for real. Nitrous bottle empty, rods bend and break, smoke everywhere, but that's the risk we take. John Jr. calling, voice cracking with rage. You fried the motor, man. That's straight sabotage. Laugh in his face. Yo, that's how we roll. Rebuild it big.
Laugh in his face.
Colin, voice cracking with rage. You fried the motor, man. That's straight sabotage. Laugh in his face. Yo, that's how we roll. Rebuild it bigger. Chase that quarter-mile goal.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, he's on the money.
I don't give a fuck. Blew that F-150 sky high. Nitrous hitting hard. Watch the Pistons fly. John Jr. mad, screaming in my ear. But I'm chilling with the crew, sipping on a beer. Boss man style, blow on the beat. Tuning for the thrill. Can't handle the heat. Engine graveyard, parts all scattered around. Next one's coming. Hear that turbo sound?
Next one's coming. He's threatening that I'm going to blow it up again.
Yo, I'm the tuner boss. Straight out the shop. Nitrous in the F-150. Watch that thing pop. Push the limits. Red line screaming loud. Engine went boom. But I ain't even proud.
So the AI does work for many things. You know, actually, I think I had Need It by NBA Youngboy and Migos. And Parker's voice is perfect. Perfect for that. I think. Let me just fast forward it.
Ja, meer lay is Draco on the feet. Grip so bright and then I'm baby. Low long hill is bullets see was saving. I got sealers. Law with just like the snow cone make this 8 knots I seal. I kill at it though, dick just like it's 8 to split I'll leave her. I think it's hard up, I think PO cheaters, little teeth. You know what it is, so put it up on their breaches. So what they breaches.
It's gonna get copyrighted, but I don't give a fuck at this point. Who cares? I think the part where he says "dope boy" hits. It's just perfect. Hold on.
Dope boy, I try to.
He says "dope boy" like he has a drawl.
Yeah, but I'm nipping my like a burrito spread. Dope boy, I tried to nap. I came up feel at home. Oh, help, run. I'll stay for nothing off when bumming your doll. I don't have to put you above your gun. Boarding your dick on my doubt out of wall. I'm dying here fuck with his peak will be gone. Who the and might I couple my car?
I stare at it, on my aim point. I'm shooting the dad, you keep paying my toy. Who the tick about your money burn? Almost some toss up on over return. I know how to handle it. Does some my damage in the trick moment like truly rewind. You know I'm strong, give a fuck and you come down stinking the car. That sound like a pod. Came in the bit with the mid with the cash. Else I bandicoot, we about to clash. Try no one more not till you dead. You also post bar posting I dread.
Corey's voice on the second verse, fire, straight fire. You know how long that takes me to do? That is Parker. What y'all talking about? Yeah, Parker's voice is perfect. And that's where the AI comes into play. It makes me laugh. And I don't want to use it to like run my videos. I just, there's certain creative things that you want to put out there. And I don't want the AI to come up with all of it. I want to do that. Dude, I got so many songs here. Moneybag Yo, see what I'm saying? Migos. I got so many songs. Parker, TV off? TV off? What is this? Okay. So this whole show might completely be copyrighted, and I'll let it. I don't care. But I just think these are funny. Okay?
Hey. No, master. Get a legend bad, was somebody that'll do it. I'm a foot up one of dads, was somebody that'll do it. Turn his TV off, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off, turn his TV off.
It's good. It's good. What else I got here? I got I got a lot. I got too many. New live light freestyle Wednesdays. I love it. I'm late. What did I miss? This is perfect. Damn, booking for the halftime show. Fuck Bad Bunny. These dudes are these orders are 7 bloody hours. The Hunt for Red October stuff. I had a Coyote Swap F100 with PBH harness. I never done a photo swap before. A photo swap. I'm in California and I bought the swap from Georgia. Why won't my truck run? Oh, I gotcha. 100% what you're saying. Treat AI like Microsoft Excel. Great tool, but you're gonna need replaced. You going to SGMP? Fuck no. I ain't going anywhere with that shit. Let me see. I got Nardy Papa and Kiss. No, what is Kiss? No. Wait, is this Prince? Yeah. This is Parker's voice. Let Let's just get to the lyrics because it's gonna get copyrighted the whole show.
I will show you it's all that. You don't have to be the rich to be right, girl. You don't have to be cool to be loud.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yo, Parker, time to leave London. Go rap. Show might get copyrighted. Somebody got to do it. You going to SGMP? No, sir. Look, unless I get a hair up my ass to go up there Saturday, I don't think so. Spider-Man meme. Yo, what photos are you swapping? What the fuck was that? Hey, Parker coming in a little high power. So I'm trying to find some of my funniest ones here. Crying? No, that was not good. Oh, John with DMX hood at was not. It was not good. It was not good. John's voice, for whatever reason, on the AI does not translate. It's the whole show's gonna get copyrighted.
Nah, I gotta deal with it. Yeah, that is must. We got your fucking mind, y'all. Think you say, oh, champion with några mothers right now. McMafford out now. The guy här tror jag var med dagens ting så säger jag like, oh, vi kan se five with lyric. But I don't think I've no just sitting and I'm doing all that.
N-words just flying.
So along the idea was jam the hundreds widow, and a nigga in a truck with a wood.
I sit there and laugh all day when I make these. Nardy Papa, Parker Cool J.
And with the local DBC news.
Just making the team rain.
But tonight,
Don't call it a comeback. I mainly a Brazilian. I'm racking my pants, putting stuff to the field. Just making the team rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, exposing, overpowering.
All of the competition.
All of the competition, I'm towering.
Good stuff. I'll just play them all. Guys, I have so many. You have no idea how many I've made. I've probably made 200 of these. And I just upload them to Facebook to make the guys laugh. Like, that's all I do. That's senior after 2 old fashions after dinner. Could you imagine? Nardy Papa. No, Nardy Papa was not good. Fall Out Boy. Drake.
Fuck being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.
Whoa!
They be on that rap to pay the bill shit. And I don't finish shit, not even a little bit. Oh Lord, know yourself, know your worth, nigga.
I just let that shit ride. Because again, it is Drake. It's just using Parker's voice. Parker's No Friends. I don't know what No Friends is. Parker has the best rap voice by far. Let me see. Talking shit. Out of my head. What's out of my head? Set a limiter at 2200. Oh my god, I love this show. You gotta love it. Hey yo, how about a 2 Live Crew version? I don't know if I have 2 Live Crew, but yeah, the whole last 30 minutes of the show, it's just gonna be copyrighted. Let me see.
Just can't get you out of my head. Boy, it's more than a debt to think about.
I don't know why. For whatever reason, I laugh so hard at these songs. Butterfly. What is Butterfly? No, Nardy's voice is really bad.
See, freaking little Grace. This people think Sigarmi Sprung with your trouble rate. And I get a lot, so your love and gets me high.
Corey and Parker have the best voice to sing on. I don't know why. It just does a really good job. Okay. Who's on the out of my head song? That's Junior's voice. Did we do any 1320 gay voice yet? See, that's interesting. I would only use the voices of people that I know, like JJ the Boss, or public figures that are normal. But I wouldn't use like Kyle's voice or anything like that, because then it opens up to litigation and shit, you know. But you don't have my permission, because he's not a public figure per se. Theo's letting loose tonight. Look, I got a lot of stuff here that there's so much stuff I haven't played, you guys, that I could probably play on Patreon, but I don't know how to play. I'd have to use OBS. Dude, grinding and clips. John's version of clips this clip song was excellent. Like, I don't want to play the whole thing. I'll play the first 20 seconds and maybe the last 20 seconds.
Megas the big team, singers in field. You and Melville, that's all I would do. The real Geringen girl, that would be it. We give you a clown. The naps for him and you, and but no label him now. Top down, chrome spinning, you see the balls grinning. I'm loving these damn women. I let two get in. She tried to let the rest fit in. I'm like, no, love, that's forbidden.
So for whatever reason, that song, the AI was very, very happy with his voice.
Yep.
Some get ripped. In builders, let us in the party just strip. No gas, they're all only L.
Get down, down. Get down, down. Yep.
So yeah, the AI likes certain voice tones, and Parker and Corey's are the best. John's, it depends on the song. Some Joe Biden shit would be funny. Watch out, Kyle will be trying to open up your cheeks. Patreon needs to get with the times and allow videos. No. Patreon allows videos. Patreon allows live chats. Look, I could do a whole Patreon with all these songs. I don't know if I don't think it'll get copyrighted, but I could do a live stream on Patreon and figure out how to do the software thing, and we could do that because I know this show is going to mostly get copyrighted, and that's okay. Fuck it. I'm good with that. That's like how people are making AI videos of Jake Paul doing fruity and racist shit. And that's the other thing. Like, he can technically sue because it's technically, it all depends on how far you want to take it. Job and like, we're starting the stream. Does John know Vanilla Ice? I think I have Vanilla Ice here. Vanilla. Let's see. Vanilla. You just search. I did it all. Vanilla Ice. No Vanilla Ice. Eminem. What about what's his name? What's the guy's name? Busta Rhymes. Busta Nardi. What's Busta Rhymes? What's Busta Rhymes? Calm down. Busta Rhymes. Nardi? Oh.
Yo.
It wasn't good. It was just a bunch of that. It wasn't good. It was dumb, but it made me laugh. Cal hits the get down like a natural. End of the party karaoke. Alex, do you have any duets? So duets like two people on the same song? I did. That was Need It, because the beginning of Need It is Parker, then Corey, then Junior. But to play the whole thing, I don't want to. It's funny to play a couple of clips, but to play the whole thing, you might be just bored. We need Meek Diddy with Kyle Loftus overlay. I probably could do that. LeBron was trying to sue over people making AI weird shit about him. You know those Rich Prince checks are coming in stacked when Theo isn't worried about copyright infringement. It's one video. You know, it's one of these relaxed Thursdays. Peasant Chat is different. Peasant Chat, I think it's laxed. Tuesday is the main show. Tuesday is the show that I actually prepare for, and I want to run a certain subject matter, or if there's drama, I want to save it for Tuesday. Thursday, we hang out. I honestly wanted to see what was going to come up with ModNats, but ModNats just doesn't make waves in the racing community. They do in the Ford racing community. So a lot of people that are Ford specific, but if you're in California, if you're in Texas, you don't really care about what happens at ModNats because you're not going to make it anyway. Or maybe you do because your tuner, your tuner tuned a car that won, blah, 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 blah. But let's say if you're a company, you're like, I'd rather just do local shit, or I'd rather go to Texas shit. Texas has a couple of tracks, DFW and a couple other places that are like super grudge, crazy, woodsy tracks. Not woodsy, but they're like outlaw tracks, I would say. So I think the news that come out of ModNats falls on ears of people that are specific to the industry. It's like not even shops. It's more like parts houses that go out there and race. Snow Informer. I think I have his Snow Informer. All right. Emery, going to go to try and clap some cheeks. Enjoy the rest of your show. Good for you. Good for you. Alex, can we play some of these songs for the Lunds at World Cup? No, that's weird. High Res and some funny Biden songs. Bryson going Diddy mode. Just joined. Calabassi clip. Just a leak. Peasant Chat has been leveling up lately. Yeah, the Peasant Chat's been really good, and we've been getting a good, consistent 300. Like, it's interesting. Tuesdays, we reach 450 views. Thursdays, we average 350. And then, for whatever reason, Sunday morning, the colder it gets up north, the more people watch because they ain't going outside. But during the summer, yeah, these streams don't really do that well, but they do well on replays. That's the crazy thing. On replays, they do extremely well. So anyway, back on the ModNats stuff. I think what's going to come out if like somebody runs like a quicker than an 860 with an S650, I guess it'll be big news. I don't care. Some people, like, to run an 850 is saying something. Like an 850 and 840, that's fast, right? And then are you doing it in like sub 1000 DA? And what is DA currently at ModNat? So what is it? SGMP DA current. South Georgia Motorsports Park air density. Right now, what time is it? It's 1580 with grains at 76, dew point 60. So this is supposedly right now. Yeah. So it's not that great. Yeah. Updated October 16th, 9:15 p.m. The DA is 1580. Water grains at 76. So it's not negative DA. So the people are not going to have hero DA like they were having up maybe in Delaware, Jersey, Maple Grove. You come down a little bit to reality. That's why it's funny that the Florida people that race in Florida, live in Florida or Texas, right? When those guys end up at, look at the Puerto Ricans at World Cup. You know where the Puerto Ricans test? Orlando. Puerto Rico. Like tropical areas. Orlando, not that tropical, but hot. So then Puerto Ricans go up north and they start racing in really good DA, and those things freaking fly. So the funny thing is, when you're used to running up there all the time, then you come down south, maybe the DA isn't that bad, but the water grains is, and it's just humid. And then all of a sudden your car's way slower, and people are like, wait a minute, I thought you ran an 860. I thought you ran a 720. How come down here in Florida, Georgia, Texas, you're scraping by what everyone else runs down here? So when somebody in Florida runs a badass number in Florida, you should take that number seriously. More serious than anyone that does it in the north, by far. Are swap cars more problematic when tuning? It depends on who built it. If you have a complete engine from a car, like a lot of the swaps that are becoming really popular now are these types. Complete swaps, computer included. So in the ticket system, it says swap. But you didn't even have to shut off PATs because you swapped everything over, even the body control module. So now I'm tuning it like a stock car with a VIN number and a serial and all this crap. So when I see Coyote swap in the tune ticket, I'm immediately going to grab a swap file, right? Crate, swap. All of a sudden the customer's like, hey, I'm missing a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? My ABS, it's a swap car. Yeah, I swapped everything over. What do you mean you swapped everything over? I swapped everything over. It is basically a 2019 Mustang in a Fox body. I'm like, oh shit, so now I have to take a stock file, like, a production file from a vehicle with your modifications. So that's when it gets a little hokey, when people get very intense on the swaps. But generally, if you swap a car and we use a swap file and you use Dakota digital gauges, the car doesn't have ABS, the car doesn't have a body control module, the car doesn't have anything, it's pretty easy based on what I've seen. What's Cal Shelby up to? Bro, it's cold as shit. It's cold to do shit in New Jersey. Ryan telling Ken why he sold him. Okay, I don't get it. Peasant Chat does good because everyone tunes in hoping they get a Turvy moment. Late as fuck. What's up, people? Yeah, OSW, Orlando Speed World, it's Orlando. So all these Puerto Ricans with the Punto Ocho and the Corollas and Lo Candunguito and the Starlets, they're testing in Puerto Rico or Orlando. And then they go up to World Cup, Maryland, 45-degree weather. Please, those cars are going to fly up there. MIR, current density altitude, negative 326.89. Do you see the difference, guys? So when somebody sets a record, I go, where was it set? Not to say that it's not valid, but we need to understand that the record was set somewhere that you will never get that temperature anywhere else. So let's say, for instance, you live in the Northeast, Massachusetts, and you go to Lebanon Valley Dragway, and you run in November a 9.0. And you're like, this thing's an 8-second car, basically. It went 9.0. Okay, then you go to ModNats, and the car's running 950, 945. you're like, oh, that hero air is gone. That's what you really run. Like, I think negative DA runs, they'll count because they count. But I think there should be something neutral, like a standard, not negative DA. Like, what would be the standard that you guys are willing to accept that car is a badass anywhere? By default, if you run a number in Florida, not on a negative 1,000 DA day, you're already there. But if you are from the Northeast, Northern California, anywhere that can get really cold and the tracks are open late during the year, there has to be a threshold that you're like, yeah, it went 890, but that's negative 1,500 DA weather. And well, okay, so it's a 920 car. Intake map placement is critical when it comes to swaps. Yes, 100%. It's 35 at the North Pole. Many interpretations of the word swap and too many DIY cold airs. To me, it's personalization that should not be personalized. I think if you're going to swap a car, mechanically, it should be as close to a production file that your tuner has as possible. Then you can put whatever wheel you want, whatever exhaust you want, whatever hood you want, whatever interior you want. But mechanically, it should mimic something that your tuner is comfortable tuning. A lot of people go, I'm going to fabricate something way crazy. And they got pie cuts and all this bullshit. And the math in a weird spot because they thought it'd be cool. The O2s are in a weird spot because it's going to get in the way of the artistic interpretation of the kit. And then I tune it. And I'm like, this thing tunes like shit. Put your O2s 4 inches away from your turbo. No, it's gonna make the engine big. I don't give a fuck. My job is to tune it. Aesthetics is on you, and I am not gonna compromise my tuning for your aesthetics. No, crazy. On a Gen 3 motor, if you delete the DI, stop right there. Stop. Don't delete the DI. It's over. Stop it. And install Gen 2 timing components. Can't do it. Can't do it. You cannot put a Gen 2 cam on a Gen 3 head. A Gen 3 head can only get a Gen 3 cam. Journals, where the cam sensor lies, and the control system. So let's say you have a Gen 3 long block. You can't just put Gen 2 cams on a Gen 3 long block and run it off of a Gen 2. Cannot do it. Impossible. If you lock the cams, it still needs to have a cam crank sync, and the connections are in different spots. It's just don't. Gen 3, it's its own thing. In my opinion, Gen 3 should not be the starting block of something that is development. And I talked to somebody recently about that. Gen 3 should not be the starting block of something that you're looking to develop so that then you can go backwards. Gen 2 should be your starting block. Gen 2, because if we're talking an aftermarket part that's meant to race with, most people are going to fuck with Gen 2 stuff. And then you can reverse your way down to Gen 1. But Gen 3 is its own thing. So I wouldn't really chase after Gen 3 stuff, in my opinion. Would there ever be a correction factor to sea level? It'd be interesting. 1500 DA. Yeah, 1500 DA I think is a good standard starting point. Kong's Corvette fluid echo in November because the air was coal mine, negative 3,500. You're not wrong, but I think that day was hot, though, Nick Perry. If I'm not mistaken, that day was like in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. The old Pro 508 is Englishtown, New Jersey in midsummer. I had 14 to 1500 DA at the track last weekend. Best I've gotten so far. I think New England Dragway is still open right now. Could you imagine going to New England Dragway right now in New Hampshire, negative 2,000 DA and running your 890 and then saying I ran 8s? When we all know that if you run any other day, any other time, it's not going to be an 8-second car. I live an hour and a half from Lebanon Valley, but 40 minutes from the Berlin Turnpike. Nice. Let me put you on game, Alex. Ranched mixed with cayenne pepper. Tastes amazing. No, I'm not a fat ass. You know what? Might have to get some wings on that. Cam journals are different. Exactly. No timing chain, front components. Right. Tyler Man says a G3 versus a top mount twin turbo and why? Any turbo. Turbo. You're saying turbo versus centrifugal. I'm going to do, without having any specific goal in mind, turbo, power, right? Installation, any centrifugal. Can a predator blower bolt right onto a Voodoo motor? I think it needs some adapters, but I can't see why not. Can't see why not. Bounderbird says, got to run later, Emery. Don't miss Bounderbird. 1500 DA is high when it can get to negative 3,000 plus in the winter. I honestly think there should be a mid standard for DA and claiming a record. I'm not saying your record is invalid because it is set on a very low DA day, but let's say the vast majority of racers race south of Washington. But then you, as one of those racers, goes way north, not for an event, well, maybe World Cup, right? World Cup. And you run the quickest and you know what? That's interesting, right? It's at a track. It's at a sanctioned event. If you run it during that event, it counts. But we all know that if it's such a closely scrutinized record, that's why I think records are stupid. That's a tough call. I don't think I can make that call. I don't think I can scrutinize someone that can't help where they live or where they race. If it's an event that's held there and they run the car and it happens to set a record in that track, cool. But if they're DA chasing, meaning a guy from like the deep south chases DA just to set a record, you can say he's got the record, but he chased it at that DA. So whatever. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck, right? If you know the day can be okay. If you know the day can be able to look up the weather for that day, DA, etc., regardless of how long ago it was. Bond would love his transmission. Idealistically, the standard should be 0, but 1500 is also good. Atco was the best. All we have now is Island Dragway. Rowan Goodall says to Tyler Mann, when I was 17, my dumbass put an on-3 kit on my old 3 valve. Don't do it. Regret that money pit every day, and I have learned my lesson the hard way. I love that. Virginia gets the same weather as winter. So crazy DA in the winter, but 3,000 plus during the summer. All that shit should be noted for the record. Yeah, so the records, yeah, because if you set a record and you have a time slip of it, it'll have a date. So people can go to that track on that day, on that date, and go, yeah, it was negative 2,000, bro. Like, fuck you. Same thing with draggy records. Same thing what I was doing with the Corvette. I'm like, I'm gonna wait until it is. This is what I do in Florida. I wait till the weather is normal everywhere else. Meaning 75 degrees is wonderful here. 70 degrees here, wonderful. 55 degrees here, unheard of. 1 or 2 weeks out of the whole year do you run that. So I'm probably going to wait for those weeks to have the best DA possible. And it's as close to 0 as possible. Maybe negative 500 is the most I've seen. Like in the second week of February is probably the only week in Florida that you're like, okay, I'm going to run a record today. Some people claim my car ran 8s. And then you look back when they ran 8s and it was during that week of that. And then they're like, no, your car really is a 930 car. It just happened to run 880 that one day, that one time, at that one track, at that 1 week it was cold. So, yeah, it ran that number, but we all know the real story. Come on, stop it. Not a fan of Island. Shutdown is way too small. JD Swag, I don't eat breakfast. I don't get too many HVAC. I don't eat breakfast. I get too many HVAC calls. Wait, Rowan, did you really respond to JD Swag's question that way? JD Swag asked you, if you didn't have breakfast in the morning, how would you feel? Rowan, do me a favor. Please answer the question. Just answer the question. If you didn't have breakfast in the morning, how would you feel? Just answer that, please. Please, please, please. Don't overthink it. Just answer it. What's up with this new turbo RTR the Drift Boys just unveiled? Thoughts? I don't care. I'll be honest with you. Nothing RTR does is the give a fuck level. The give a fuck level is at 0. I 0. Don't give a fuck. SK says, I remember driving to Maine from Florida in my Gen 1 last October, and my car felt 20 to 30 horsepower stronger than in that cold Maine air. Yes. Every single time, if you have a 10 PSI car, and that's when they blow up. Typically. When you go wide open throttle and you're at that, you have a booster pump at 52s, and you're at a negative 500 DA day, and you go wide open throttle, what? See you later. The car runs out of fuel, and it blows up. It runs the best until it blows up. Right, you need to answer the question, Rowan. Don't say my bad. Answer the question. If you did not have breakfast this morning, how would you feel or how would you have felt? Don't wait for the translation. Don't wait for the translation. Or fuck it don't matter, says Joe Swish. Judgment is waiting. Yes, we need to know. That is the litmus test as to who we're dealing with. If how they answer that question is how we end up. Like, Turvey wouldn't even try to answer that question. Turvey would be like, I'm just trying to build badass cars and compete with Shelby. I'm like, bro, you're dating Sully from Godsmack. Stop it. Yeah, his response, I think he did the smart thing, Six Hills, and he's like, I'm not going to reply. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So, today we have probably going to get copyrighted. I'd be hungry and be low on energy. Look at that. Look at that. He probably Googled it. It probably gave him an answer, and he's like, oh, shit, it's a thought experiment. Good job. Good job. Even if you Googled it, that shows that you took some initiative and looked up the answer. Good for you, Rowan. We don't think you're dumb. Good job. All right, I'm going to get out of here today. We're probably going to get copyrighted for the last 30 minutes of the show, but I'm just going to let it ride because at the end of the day, I thought it was funny, so let it live there, and I don't care if they take some of that money away. We talked about what the outcomes or what the narratives could be from ModNats, even though the event is kind of stuck between two big events, FL2K and World Cup. The Ford-specific race parts companies will probably have a narrative going out of there. If you're going to be at South Georgia Motorsports Park, go say hi to Eric Vega. Code Red has a 20 Gen 2 supercharged centrifugal stick shift Mustang. His goals are to run 8s this weekend, and even if he doesn't run 8s, I want him to have a good time. The Amri paid his way to go. He got himself there. The family is with him. They got a hotel. I'm so happy that he's able to compete and meet people in the Mustang community, and hopefully he can get that 8. If he doesn't get that 8, at least he had a good time getting out there. So good luck to you, Eric Vega. Report back on Sunday, because I think that event's going to wrap up on Saturday. I don't think there's many cars, a big car count. So I think it'll wrap up on Saturday, and we'll be able to hear what's going on with Eric Vega. Have a good rest of your night, guys. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning for the Peasant Chat. See you later. Bye.